Professor Chaudhuri, it's a pleasure to welcome you. IIT Bombay, now that we have 23 campuses, but amongst the original ones, IIT Bombay's alumni kind of stands out. I'm from the Bay Area. They have a very strong contingent there, and they make a lot of noise. So
Good noise or bad noise?
always good noise. So it's my pleasure to talk to you. You are an alum yourself from IIT Kharagpur. Now you're the director at the IIT Bombay. Now that we are here at the PanIIT Conference in DC, you have seen the acknowledgement by the US Congress as well of the accomplishments of IITians in the US. In particular, obviously, they have been contributing to the global economy. As an IITian yourself, it's a moment of pride. So I wanted to ask you, how do you, as alums in India and, of course, director of the institution, see this contribution achievement of IITians here in the US?
See, I think, if you look at typically what has happened, the migration of scientists and others, the technical people, before IIT days used to be more towards the UK and the other side. So now after all these things started, and of course there was a reason at the Second World War and others, basically the shift that happened is towards the US. And it was, I think, one of the biggest moment for, I would say, that from the U.S., the immigration perspective, that they probably got some of the best set of people who were well trained, by this, the IITs, in terms of coming and probably setting up a benchmark of what excellence should be, And of course, the credit goes to IIT system, thanks to the wonderful, I think, the policy document that Sarkar Committee report, based on which IITs were set up. And if I just may take a little time, that if you look at those days, initially, what I think I call it IIT 1.0, which said, look, it has to create one of the best manpower. And these are not necessarily somebody who's very well trained in the laboratories, but it is in terms of the skill set, the analytical skill set. This is where probably all IITs have put a tremendous effort. And it actually reaped a very, very high dividend, no matter where the alumni go. You were talking about the alumni in US, but there are also same thing like the alumni in India. These people, they have gone into almost all possible areas. Of course, some of them in academics, some of them in industry, many of them they set up their own companies. And today, if you look at this the diaspora, particularly the IITians here, they are probably the largest group of most talented people here. When you go to Silicon Valley, then you see most of the techies, so what they call it, they are from one of these IITs, majority of them. Similarly, you come to the New York side and you say that, fintech is not what they were taught. But because they were excellent in terms of the analytical skill development, what has happened is that now you see that, I think a major activities in terms of the fintech market, they're by all these IITians, And I think they contribute, and this has been very well acknowledged by the US Congress, and I'm sure that in coming days also, that now what has happened is that those people in earlier days, it used to be contained in US. Now because of the globalization and others, now what happens, there is a border has thinned. Now you see a lot of such kind of, movement. Even people who are in India coming here, as well as those who are settled and well, they're going back, or either in terms of whatever the effort in terms of entrepreneurship, this is going back. So this is, I think, a very, very, I would say, productive ecosystem that our graduates did. And we're really proud of that and what they have achieved. And it'll be wonderful if we can continue in the same pace.
I want to bring your focus to your campus, IIT Bombay, one of the most prominent ones. With the emerging technologies, it's always a challenge for an institution like yours to be at the forefront. Where do you think kids who are now at your campus are focusing. I know AI is the new thing, but has the shift been happening in the last few years from looking for secure jobs, quote unquote, to exploring and being more brave, getting into entrepreneurship, etc.? And I've seen that trend happening in the last decade. And how do you see that evolving?
I think it's a very interesting comment that you made, the last one, okay, that are these students brave enough in terms of taking it up, new challenges? But then I think I'll go one step back and say, are their parents brave enough to let their kids do what they want to do? Okay, so if you put that question, okay, now when I graduated, okay, I come from a very small place, okay, almost nobody heard of those places, okay. Now, of course, the first thing that your parents say, okay, you need to do something so that there is a guaranteed job, so that basically you are settled in life, so you never have to worry about things, because they had to worry about that, right? So this was there initially. So that's why they looked at some job security. I need a good job, okay, kind of thing. But thankfully, because I think the Indian, I think the overall, the middle class and others have gone up. There are, the parents know that I can still support some time if something happens. And we, like in IITs and other, we realized that we still need to nurture them. We said, if you want to take a chance, please go ahead. By all means, we'll provide you all kind of support. And let's say for IIT Bombay, we say that, okay, finally I know that if you go out and if you are successful, then you will not come back here, okay? Because, definitely you not only make enough money or contribution, but you also create jobs and others. But supposing you fail, you come back a lot more enriched, and we'll allow you to sit in the campus placement again, so that you still have, at least you know that I can fall back option, okay? Now, in US, if you look at it, there was always, kids were always allowed to go and try something. You talk about whether it's a Microsoft founder or something, they were always allowed to do what they wanted to do. And that they do because they know that, either the society or somebody will take care of them, okay, or the family. Now, this is more happening because there is a collective enrichment to the people, the parental generation, and I see a lot more thing happening. And that has actually catapulted the entrepreneurial ecosystem at IIT Bombay, and everybody wants to do that. And we strongly encourage that. Okay, you will not see that many IIT Bombay students applying. In the month of December, we used to be, always writing reference letter for them to come to US. Now it's less than 5% of our population. So it's really nothing, okay? And of course, we want them to also go for higher studies. We want to go for some other companies they want to set up. But the leadership role that they can provide as an entrepreneur, that's what is something very important. The nation needs it. We need to create more jobs, more opportunities, and they need to be trained. Okay, so we provide that kind of support through our incubators, as well as we are probably one of the first to set up school of entrepreneurship. Okay, thanks to one of our alumni, the Bharat Desai. Okay, so we try to leverage, and now I tell you that we have set up something called Translation Research Center, and the job is that whatever that happens research, take it and try to see whether they can be translated. And since we, as a professor, we don't want to teach anybody that what is entrepreneurship or what is the translation opportunities, because it's not our cup of cake. We can teach them on topics, but not on how to have create a business plan. So we bring in people, experts from outside. Some of them are alums, some of them are or maybe from other IITs who are in the Mumbai area. And say, you train our people, okay? And recently, we have gone one further step ahead, and we created a position called Head of Translation Research Center and entrepreneurship, as a matter of fact. And we requested one of the very top guys, was a top CEO in India, Rajesh Gopinathan. He was the CEO of TCS. So now he has joined, and he's helping us to grow this ecosystem. And I think that will be very helpful in coming days.
Well, I share your enthusiasm and also have a firm belief in the future of not just the IITs of University of India, it's not an easy job. It's a great institution, and you have to be at the top to lead this forward. Thank you for doing what you do. Appreciate you coming and sharing your experiences.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure, and it's always good to see so many bright people and great discussion. And I would also say it's very nicely organized. Really enjoyed being here, and I hope that this will continue, because we had a little gap years in between, and I think it is required, because it's not just one white IIT. By the way, when I talk about this kind of thing, it is the collective, all IITs, 23 now.
Sure.
And we need a place where we can all come together for the the way, so that we can integrate, we can brainstorm and do even better. Thank you.
Putting this together is a thankless job, so all the credit and kudos to the PanIIT and the Capital IIT team. They have done a fabulous job.
Absolutely. I mean, really, we're thankful to them, and I think we'll look forward to being part of it again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.